Locked in?
Locked in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Connect Podcast. New location. For those that don't know, we're working hybrid right now. We gave up our little office space, so finding a new home for the podcast. I kind of like this space. It's really nice. We're here in the Diego downtown. It's a cool space.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But yeah, real estate. The real estate market's picking up. I feel like I had a busy weekend, full showings. You too?
Yeah, had a lot of showings yesterday, got some showings today, so
There you go.
yeah, keeping busy.
Nice.
Escrow going, should wrap up a couple weeks.
One escrow, maybe another one.
Maybe another one this year, we'll see.
I have 2 listings coming up, which is, I think one thing that we did is we set ourselves up for the springtime intentionally, right? I had some people reach out in the winter, and I told them straight up, like, it's probably not the best time to sell your house, right, in the dead of winter if you want to get top dollar. So, and maybe a lot of people have waited for the springtime to sell their houses because we're starting to get more inventory. There's some nice houses out there, especially ones that I've viewed. I've been trying to view like a house a day.
Yeah.
Just check it out, put it on social media, and get some content out of them. But there's some good houses out there, and I think I posted something last week, saying, if you're in the market to sell a house, or buy a new house, but you have a house to sell, we call that contingent, sell or purchase. It's a great time to do that right now because, there's a lot of sellers that are willing to work with those type of offers still.
Yeah.
We're seeing sellers offer credits. You get credits in your deal?
We got credits right off the bat for termite work, almost $4,000. We're taking care of all the repairs. Came in 1,500, but ended up in contract for 500. Appraisal came in 5 over, so it's a good situation all around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great for your buyers. Right now during these times, if you're going to work with like down payment assistance, those kind of things, they're still on the table. Not sure if you guys saw, but there's like crazy. You see like the thing of Washington D.C. that everybody listing their house.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. Like
All the federal workers.
supposedly, a lot of people are losing their jobs, so they're pre-planning to sell their house.
Everything's like 170 grand over there. I'm like, dang, must be nice.
Oh man, these are nice big houses, man. Like 800 to
really?
$4 million.
Must have been looking in the ghetto part of town.
Houses are nice up there.
Washington DC is expensive, but yeah, like the flood of the market, right? It's crazy to think because we have federal workers here, we have a lot of military and stuff too, so definitely something to keep an eye on and see if that affects San Diego. But as of right now, I think we're still under inventory levels, right? Like I think we're like at we're hovering about 3,500 homes on the market, and people are out there buying and putting offers on homes. So I know we have one listing right now. Russell's listing. He had like 5 showings this weekend. So I get all the notifications. Yeah, it's gonna pick up, and that place has been on the market for about 30 days now.
Do you think I have a buyer that I'm working with who I've been working with since like September last year because they're going through a divorce situation and they didn't want the ex to get any opportunity to claim the property that they purchased. But one concern that was brought up to me is like they may see the prices starting to increase. Do you think prices are going to increase a lot more, or do you think they're going to stay kind of the same because of where interest rates are, where we are in the economy?
I honestly, since the end of last year, I've seen prices start to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody is targeting a higher price, right? And then they're adjusting until they get to that price where it's a purchasable rate.
Yeah.
Which I think in this market might be the smarter route to take than just underpricing it by $100 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had someone send me a house over the weekend. It was at $699 in Escondido, and then like you look at the comps, and everything is selling at everything is selling like 750, 780, 800. They just listing at $699. We talked about this before, but they're listing at $699 to get a lot of attention. was the point that you made against that? Like,
You get the price, you get it at $6.99 and not $7.50.
no, you're anchoring your sales price to the list price, right? So
Yeah.
like, you're not really helping the homeowner by doing that.
Right.
You're getting all of these lowball offers, and then maybe you're building it up. And say you sell it at $7.50, well, you should have listed it at $7.50.
$7.49.
Exactly, yeah, closer to what it should have been. But I think you're just getting a lot of people's hopes up. I don't think that house, for this example, sells at $6.99. Right? It's I would rather, I think, list it higher with the expectations that people are gonna ask for credits or ask for a discount in this market, because you know that's coming. Instead of listing at $6.99, and you get a bunch of people that are trying to offer you $6.50 or something, you know? But it's all about like marketing and pricing right when you come to market, right? Because, for example, we put an offer on the house last week and we got an offer accepted. They originally had that house listed at $950 and they were accepting our offer at $850. Right? So this is a 5-bedroom house in 92154. So it's like there's definitely opportunities out there, and I think kind of prices fluctuate all over the place, and it really depends on the property, right? It's like desirability. How does it have like something that everybody wants? Is there a lot of competition in there?
Yeah, like if it's a remodeled home and everything is turnkey ready, it's probably gonna sell a lot faster than a house that's gonna need some work.
Yeah, definitely. I
Crazy
think
cat
that's-
lady that, you know, her kids are diabetic and then they don't.
Yeah, if you have a house where, you know, it's a hoarder, something like that, we have buyers for those too, right? But that's the thing, like, people don't understand. For example, Michael has a listing in Spring Valley, and the old man is saying that he only wants a cash buyer. And I told him, like, if you get a cash offer on this house,
It's not gonna be the price you want.
exactly, you're not getting top dollar cash offer. You're gonna get somebody that lowballs you, or somebody that's an investor that's offering, 70% under value, right?
Why does he want cash only? Does the house want to freeze?
No, I think he just doesn't want to deal with people. But that's been the hard thing about like getting that house back listed and then trying to get people through there, is he doesn't want people in his house. So, yeah, I mean, you see it all in this market. I actually talked to another agent over the weekend, and we were talking about how every deal right now, you really have to like piece it together.
Yeah.
It's not like the simple, clean FHA purchase. I mean, there's those out there, but they take a little bit more work, right? And it's definitely having to do with the interest rate, with the prices, right?
And the type of loan too. Because a VA, I know you can only get up to like what, 3% in credits total?
I think it's 6%.
I dealt with a buyer that was a VA for my client who was selling his property, and that was literally, it was like the beginning, we structured it, got everything figured out, opened escrow, and then it was like, okay, these things happen, how are we gonna figure this out? Do we do this outside of escrow? And what does the lender say? Is the lender gonna give us a green flag? And it was one of the more, I think it was one of the transactions for me that made me realize like this market is not like how it used to be. I mean, it's always ever changing.
Yeah, I think it's on both sides, right? It's not buyer or seller friendly, right? It's kind of like everybody has to come together to make it happen. Because if not, then your deal's gonna fall apart, right? And there's those agents that like continuously like, they just like put an offer, and then once they hit a wall, they're like, we'll just cancel.
Right.
Because they wanna go through and like do the hard work or figure things out together.
I had that exact conversation with the agent that I closed the deal on. She told me, she's like, hey, look, these guys don't have much money, they're VA, but this is how much money they need, this is how much purchase power they have, and can we make it work? And at the time it was like middle of December, there's no buyers, there's not a lot of activity. I'm like, we'll make it work. Talk to my client, and sure enough, it was always like, this happened. We probably talked like 2 or 3 times a day, with the exception of the weekends, because escrow wasn't open. But then we also, like, the communication was there. It wasn't texting, it was phone call conversations. And for me, being as long as being a realtor for as long as I have, sometimes you get complacent where you're like, oh, I want to send this text, send this email, communication's out. But sometimes you have to take it a step further and make the phone call conversation, because then you're like, you get to hash it out in real time. Even if it's not, even if you're uncomfortable, at least you know, like, hey, we're working to get this done, we're on the same page, and that's what gave me reassurance, because we already had a buyer fall out. Last thing we wanted to do is have 2 buyers fall out, and then we're back to square one, a new year, and just, you know, the house looks like, you know, more than average agent will be able to tell you, oh, this house was on the market, came off, on, what's wrong with the property.
What's wrong with the property, yeah.
So, communication is key.
Yeah, also, I think trying to figure out some of that stuff before we go live on the market, right? Or like doing a pre-inspection, getting termite, all that stuff, so you could tell people up front, that helps out a lot. But yeah, I mean, going back to it, like in this market, you have to work together, we have to collaborate and able to get things done. I mean, you have your escrow right now is pretty smooth and easy.
Yeah.
That's like a rare one right now.
But I think part of it is, a big part of it,
Preparation.
no, I think it's that the sellers are,
Desperate.
probably desperate, yeah. But they're fixing everything, they're getting ahead of it, they're saying like, you show me the inspection report, we didn't even put together a request for repairs.
No, hey.
I got, hit up by the agent yesterday, he's like, hey, everything's done.
Oh, man, that's
Everything
key.
from the inspection report done.
I want 10%.
But that's
Awesome.
cool, like,
It's
because going to show you, like, if you're a seller in this market,
Yeah,
that's where you should be, that's how you should be acting, because you don't want that buyer to walk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's not a ton of buyer pool out there, so it's like, you know, it's give and take from both sides right now. I wouldn't say it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. I think depending on the property, going back to that, is like, you know, it could be one way or the other, and you really have to bring the whole party together to make the deals happen right now. Nothing's working easy. Talking about nothing's working easy, how's the solar market?
Oh, it's going, same stuff, you know, it's hard work, knocking doors, but, I think since the year started, like, more people are, you know, friendlier to, okay, yeah, I want some solar, but during the holidays, it was hard, November and December, nobody was like, nah, we're good, thank you, get out my door, and, yeah, everything's been going good, I got 3 signed deals, so hopefully those go through, but
Heck yeah.
same thing, bro, hard work, and knocking, and it's good, I got a new homeowner, so that's good. I think a lot of the homeowners nowadays are more open to getting
What does
solar.
it mean, new homeowner?
Like, they just bought this house, they're a young couple.
Oh,
And,
friends.
yeah, in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
a lot of the people have solar, so that's what we were like, hey, like, you're like one of the only houses that
Yeah.
have solar, like.
Everybody's
Yeah,
talking
like,
about
yeah,
you.
like, exactly, so
Everybody's talking
you're
about
not fitting in, bro.
Everybody's talking
Yeah, you're not fitting in, your neighbor told me to come hit you up, and
The
that's what we're
neighborhood
here.
watchman, they left it.
Yeah.
Wanna see that glass on the roof?
Yeah. That's exactly what we need, that glass on that roof, so.
What are you
Yeah.
against the environment? Is that line, like, what are you against the environment?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. For someone who gets solar, right, and let's say they sell their house, is there a fee for them to have their solar removed through your company?
With the.
If they would, let's say, oh, I love my solar company, but I'm buying a different house, I wanna take the panels or reconnect, is there a cost associated to?
So what happens there, the solar stays with the house, so
Oh,
whoever
yes.
buys the house,
Like,
Inherits
transfers, yeah, transfers to the neighbor, and say, you buy another house, we can go and put solar on your house, yeah.
But basically,
they're not owning the panel.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I see, so it's like.
but there's no lien, no nothing, it
Yeah.
just stays with where it's gonna buy.
That's cool, there's no liens though.
Yeah, no lien on your house, anything, bro, that's the good part. Before, people would do that, yeah, like when it barely
And then if
started.
they said, if they defaulted or something, then they were what, they,
So another thing you could do after 5 years, you could pay it all off.
Oh,
Like,
I
yeah,
see.
say, I don't wanna pay for it no more, I wanna pay it all off.
yeah.
You do it after 5 years. And that way, if you're gonna sell your house or whatever, they're paid off, and
Yeah.
next person that comes in
Gets
doesn't have to
free
worry about it.
electricity.
They get the panels, yeah, they have the panels on the roof and everything.
That's sick. Well, that's a good thing too for sellers, like, or even as buyers, you're always looking at, oh, this property comes with solar, and then when you find out that they're owned, you're like, damn, that means you can
that your house is supposed to go up in price.
In value, yeah.
Value.
It does for sure. If it's like a 20 or 30K system, was at like 10 grand?
You know what I mean? It's like a fraction of the price.
That's why, you know, one thing too is that people talk about adding pools to their property. And I'm like, bro, like, you
Pool
add a
cost is so
pool,
much.
it's like 70 grand now in today's market to
More,
do that.
more,
It's like 100 grand.
at least 100 grand.
Really?
Yeah, at least.
But you're only adding $5,000 to $10,000 in value.
That's crazy. The house I have in escrow now has a pool and paid off solar.
It does?
There's even,
Damn, bro.
you know, comped it out, probably added another 5K to it.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, paid off solar. and
You
pool.
would think, I feel like not too long ago, it added more value, but
Yeah.
maybe it's just like an old age thing.
Also too is like in this market, those attributes begin not to add value, right? Like those are the things that people are, that's like an extra, right? Like an extra add-on,
Yeah,
right?
and
Right
it's
now,
more
it's like,
insurance too.
yeah, it is more, it's more money, it's
Because
more,
and then it's harder to get
have a
insured
pool
because
guy and everything.
you're gonna hit a Dylan over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
back,
cool.
back
Shout
in
out
the day
to
though,
them.
it was nice, man. Like back in the day, you were living large if you had a pool in the back. Big shot.
Yeah, and then you have to have a gated now. You can-
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
insurance
that perimeter, right?
Yeah, insurance won't insure your house if you don't have it gated. Yeah.
Good luck trying to buy property in LA right now because nobody's insuring anything over there. Huh?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, like the mudslides after the rain, like everything's like slide over there. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, going back to something that Marvin said, the holidays, all the election, everything, I feel like give people an excuse and they're gonna take it, right? It's crazy, like, what's the next excuse that
Yeah.
someone's gonna come up with?
Right.
And hopefully people are out of excuses by now, because I really think it's a great time for people to take action, buy a house, make that move. I know the biggest excuse that we have is interest rates, and they've been very volatile. Like, you know, last week we saw like this huge spike, and then by Friday they were back down to like before what they were.
Yeah.
So always, I think the best plan of attack is get pre-approved, right? Like get your paperwork in, talk to a lender, make sure everything is you know, uploaded to the application, and that way you're prepared. So when we see one of these dives in the interest rate, you could make a move and like boom, take advantage of the opportunity, because it is very volatile. We do expect the rates to continue to go down, but it's just, you know, when that's gonna happen, right? And it's almost to a point where if you're using the interest rate as an excuse, like it's kind of the new norm now, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to get adjusted to this and, you know, hope for the best in the future,
Pretty
right?
much, it's like, look, whatever it is that you're doing for work, it sucks, so get a better job. No, I'm joking. I'm playing. But no, it's essentially like, this is, people are still, it's crazy to hear them, but people are still comparing today's time to what COVID was.
Yeah.
Like, that COVID situation was such a unicorn, one-off type situation that we should have really never even saw that.
Yeah.
It was just handled poorly.
Yeah.
It was a mistake by the government, essentially.
Yeah.
But it set a tone for people to think, hey, like, I shouldn't be getting 3% or 2 or a half, 2 and a quarter, whatever, 3%. And the reality is, no, you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But now you think about those people, and this is what the people are like, man, I wish I could get the 3s again. They're not realizing that the people who purchased the 3% are like stuck there.
Yeah.
This is their payment. They may have bought a badass, expensive property with a great rate, but now it's like, you can't refinance. I mean, you can, but
Yeah, you're gonna be putting yourself in another
in a
situation.
tougher spot than you are now. If you're
They can't take equity out,
Right.
they can't move, they can't sell.
Right.
They might have like, you know, 12 kids now, and then they're stuck in a 3-bedroom house.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Nuyens for sure definitely have 14 kids now.
Look at Andre, he said he has 4 kids since COVID started.
You know, good thing I didn't get the vaccine. I would have probably had 8 more by now. But yeah, it's I think it's all a matter of perspective. If you're comparing to that of the past, you're never gonna move forward, and you're gonna continue waiting. And you know that saying is, it was always good to buy real estate 5 years ago. The same will be held true 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And so rather than, oh, I wish the interest rates were what they were in 2020 or 2021, make it for what it is now, buy what you can afford now, and then leverage that property to get the house that you want. Because in San Diego, if there's a place that you can leverage property faster probably than any other place in the world, it's San Diego.
Yeah.
The values appreciate, I think they're like at 18%, or I don't know what the average is, like 13, 14%, and here they're 18. During COVID, I think it was like 20 or something crazy. But I mean, nobody's building on the west because we can't build houses on the ocean. That'd be sick if we could. I'd get a nice little studio.
Nice little island.
Yeah, but you know, nobody's building there, and then everything's starting to get landlocked because these big multi-million-dollar companies are like, hey, we can make money off the rent. So take advantage. Get in where you fit in, like Too Short says, and just buy, hold, and then in 3 or 4 or 5 years, make an assessment. Hey, do I want to go buy this house? Talk to Clint, talk to Javi, talk to Marvin. Maybe Marvin's gonna have his license by then, but at least you know he's gonna push you in the right direction, and then you know we figure out a plan like we always do.
Yeah, no, this is a conversation that came up actually the end of last week. I have a client that they purchased 3 years ago now, and he's like, man, I wish I would have bought something bigger, right? Like when rates were lower, when I actually could afford it more when I bought, right? Because now they want to do a move-up purchase, right? But you always can't plan that. You can't plan ahead 3 years of your life. You can't plan ahead 5 years of your life, right? So in those last 3 years, he made $130,000 of equity. I told him, look, by you buying the place that you bought, you put yourself in a great situation where you have the ability to move that money forward, right? Pay off some debt, put $100,000 down on your next place, and your payment might go up a little bit, but people understand that when you're upgrading, you should expect the payment to go up. You can't just upgrade your life and then pay the same thing you were paying before, right? Like, dude, we used to live all in the same condo. We used to pay $1,200 for a 2-bedroom condo in IB, right? Like, we all lived there.
That was the best.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine being able to keep that same payment throughout your whole life, right? And then get a bigger and nicer house. Life doesn't work that way, right? So, like, you're upgrading your life, like, be ready to upgrade your budget, right? Because you don't just go up without doing that, right? Unless you, like, inherit some money and get to pay off the house or something.
You got it.
But, like, my living standards now, I mean, it's not that great, but it's way better than the 2-bedroom apartment that I need, right?
I mean, no, yeah, but yeah, you gotta be realistic. Like if you're gonna upgrade, and let's just say you're not even talking about property. Let's just say you're talking about like I'm gonna upgrade myself. Like I'm gonna get better at my health. I'm gonna quit drinking, quit doing this, whatever, blah blah blah. You have to expect that there are also gonna be some sacrifices that you have to make too. And those sacrifices, if you're talking about property art, hey, you're getting the big ass badass house with all the bells and whistles now. You're gonna have to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I didn't make the rules, but that's just how it is.
Well, it's the same like buying a new build, right? The taxes are higher, the rules exist, right? But why? Because you want to, exactly, you want to live in this nice new building with brand new schools and brand new infrastructure, brand new parks.
Sick ass refrigerator with a
That's
whatever
awesome,
Jamon has
right?
it is, yeah. Whatever Jamon has it is refrigerator.
Yeah, but you're paying for that, right? Like this building, for example, like you did use this room, there's a gym. You know, is that across the street from the coffee shop?
Coffee alone.
Not excited.
But yeah, you're always gonna pay for the upgrades in life, right? So figuring out if it's worth it, right? If that's where the move you want to make is, what's the next move? Are you willing to pay for it, right? I know the next move for us that we've got to find a little office, hoping that we could find something that works for us, whether that's in Chula Vista or wherever it is. We'll find something and that'll be the next move for Connect. So if you got any leads on office space, reach out to us. We're out there looking. Anything else you guys got? No? How do you feel like the tariffs are going to affect?
I mean, I don't know.
real estate?
I don't think so. I think San Diego is its own special demographic. Honestly, it's like like I mentioned earlier, we're on the West Coast, right? We're literally on the beach. There's nothing being built out there, and so
And not only that, above San Diego, we have Camp Pendleton where we can't build anything.
yeah,
To the right, or to the east of San Diego, you have the mountains, and on the other side of the mountains is different climates, so no one's really straight.
Yeah,
this
no
way,
one
right?
really wants to go through
Right?
it.
If anything, people are going like this way, like up and to the east, which is like Temecula, which is already getting expensive.
Right.
Marietta, last year we sold a house in Marietta for $850,000, so that's not cheap.
Yeah, Menifee's next.
Menifee is already blowing up, but again, Menifee is a lot of new builds, right?
Right.
So you're paying higher tax rate, 2%, right? So you're dealing with that stuff. Maybe the housing price is lower, but you have an HOA and a Belarus payment. And then you have Hemet, which is like growing like crazy right now, right? So you have 550 purchase prices, but then you're dealing with, you're in Hemet.
Extra fees,
Right.
And then you got San Jacinto, shout
Right,
out to
you're
everybody,
literally-
witness protection.
You're literally like 2 hours commute if you're coming to San Diego.
Yeah,
Right?
my nephew
Or
bought
LA.
my nephew bought out there in Hemet, and it's 45 minutes in from the 215.
Yeah.
Then you're 215 with
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, 'cause it's all in the back.
It's all, yeah, I mean, it's brutal, but I mean, he had the vision is clear. It's like, look, I know I'm not gonna be here forever. Doesn't have kids, not married, and even if you are, these are part of the short-term sacrifices that we have to come to terms with and understand.
Yeah, building equity, right?
Building equity, and you do that with the understanding that, hey, this is not permanent, this is not where we're gonna be long-term, but this is a sacrifice I have to make for now, for a couple years, so that I can be here in San Diego, next to Marvin, we're gonna go get some dinner.
It's crazy too, because like my recent purchases, none of the people have been like from here, right? They're moving here, or they're buying second homes here, because they understand, like they see the potential of San Diego still. It's still growth to be had here, which is crazy to say, because they're buying $1 million condos, right? Like, as their second homes. And there's a lot of money that's moving from like Northern California to San Diego that a lot of people don't see. On the other side of it, I feel like a lot of people are leaving that can't afford it, but that's like a natural shift that's occurring, right? Like, when you can't afford something, you get the hell out of there, you go somewhere cheaper, right? So, that's always gonna happen, and I think San Diego's gonna keep building on like the luxury part of San Diego, which is
Travel, it's a tourist
it's
destination,
definitely a
Coronado,
destination place.
Del Mar, the racetracks.
Every place in San Diego. I mean, we grew up here in San Diego. There used to be places that you wouldn't want to go at night, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like you can go anywhere. Every house is $1 million, right? It's not like
Logan, remember Logan? Not too long ago, you couldn't go down there in a plain white tee. Now you can go a whole plain white outfit with your Yorkie.
yeah, there's no like dangerous spot in San Diego. It's crazy, right?
Maybe still the Four Corners over there out there.
No, it's
And
not.
Pentecost, that community, dude.
At Pentecost, condos are selling for like
I
$500.
know, but you still feel like, damn, like.
I don't know, man. I think like there's not a place in San Diego where you're like, oh, I feel like this is dangerous or
Yeah.
something. And then like you go and then there's a house that they just flipped and it's selling for $850.
Yeah, they do sell. It's like a flipper's dream in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, San Diego will always, I think because of the special demographic that we are, even more special than Los Angeles or anywhere in LA, honestly. I mean, unless you're a multi-millionaire that can live in the hills, that's one thing. But here in San Diego, if you own here, if you're planning to buy here, you shouldn't be worried about external circumstances that's happening everywhere else in the country. Like, oh, we're gonna go through a recession. Some parts of the country were going through a recession the past couple of years, but San Diego didn't get any kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think still we're seeing 3%, 5% increase in prices, and as the springtime comes, it's gonna get more expensive, right? Especially when our inventory is always below 5,000 houses on the market.
That's crazy.
Benefit right now, you can take advantage, see a bunch of houses, which is cool. Get out there. I got out there with clients on Saturday. We saw 4 duplexes that he's able to purchase. So there's options, right? And I like that part of it. It's a balance, right? We talked about like buyers and sellers coming and get together to make it happen, and I think that's a fun part of the market, you know. I wish it wasn't as hard for buyers because of affordability, but that's just like I said, that's kind of the norm now. That's where we're at. You know, going into the spring, I do see, you know, more buyers and buyers continue to come out. And if you look already, like in my neighborhood, everything that's under 1.5 is pending. So like, you know, there's buyers out there buying the houses, especially if they're priced right. So talking about competition and all that, like you could make an excuse for competition, or you could find your level of where you're comfortable buying and make a move.
Yeah.
Right? Like your clients, they made a move, they got an escrow, they got a deal, right? I have a client right now that we were out seeing duplexes. He's ready to make a deal. He's getting all his paperwork into the lender, and then you know a couple other clients that are ready to make their move. It's all about taking action and making that move. Because if you're not taking action, literally, you know, you're just letting everything pass by and creating excuses. Yeah, I think that's good for today. What episode are we on? 23?
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Yeah.
27.
Well, I don't know. I miss doing the podcast. I know we took a couple weeks off because we're actually moving around, and like I said, it's hybrid. So maybe we'll do a couple more from here. We'd like to have some guests on too. If you're watching this, remember to subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. We're still gonna give out a TV, so you might be the lucky winner of a TV. And I want to get our Google reviews up to 100.
There we go.
We're like at 84 right now, so we have 16 more to go. So if you're a past client of ours, go on Google, leave us a review, Connect Realty.
Or if you're not past client, but just you want to help us out, just create like 16 accounts.
16 accounts, and we got 100 more. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in this week. Until next week.
Stick it down.